Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Turning the Spotlight podcast with Tamara Hylton. I am your host. Now, I know that some of you know me, some of you don't, but you may have seen me on social media. I am Tamara Hylton. I am a teacher by profession. Of course, I changed career recently that I'm going to tell you about later, but I am a singer and I'm also a mom. It is indeed a pleasure to have you joining me on Turning the Spotlight podcast. Here we meet every Sunday at 4 p.m. You will be joined by a special guest each evening. Now, of course, that's not the only thing we're going to be doing. We are going to be talking about success stories. We are going to show you how you can go from the ground and take your life higher. Remember, it's all about the eagle mentality. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this evening we will also be having our top trivia question segment, and you just can't afford to miss that. You want to know what our guests think about certain topical issues. Also, we will be having an extremely special guest this evening. Now, I am extremely delighted to have joining me one of social media biggest sensation, one who has sent the cat scratching and thinking that she is a hen because she's running around, no longer thinking and behaving like a cat. The one and only Miss Kitty. She caused Miss Kitty to come on social media and be talking every day. She is not only a social media sensation, ladies and gentlemen, but she is a family counselor. She is a wife. She is a mother, and just so many other things that you're going to be learning about this evening. One of the things I really admire about her is how authentic, how real, down to earth, how frank she is when she comes on social media. And you can say absolutely nothing to make her feel bad because she's going to show you that her self-esteem is very high, and it doesn't matter what you think, what you say, she really doesn't care about that. Ladies and gentlemen, she is the CEO of the Happy Wife Club. She's Chris' wife. Put your hands together and help me welcome on stage now the one and only Nodia Powell. Mrs. Powell, good evening to you.
Good evening, Tamara. Thank you so much for having me.
It
Listening
is
to you, I'm
indeed,
wondering if you were talking about me.
it is indeed a pleasure to have you, Miss Nodia. Thank you so very much for joining. Thank you so much for being here. I am truly delighted that you have accepted to be my guest this evening. And when you came on just now, I said we were matching. Yeah, we're wearing the colors of Earth. And you said something to me, and I wanted to tell the guests. Why is it that you're wearing that color this evening?
Because I am earthy. I am very low down. As I said, when I see myself, I see a little nobody. So I love brown. Brown is my color from I get into being and knowing who I am so I can relate to the earth. I'm very humble, I'm very down to earth, and I keep it very grassroots.
Wow, I absolutely love that. Very down to earth, very humble. And you know, Miss Nodia, that is one of the things I really admire about you, how humble you are, just keeping things at grassroots, as you said. Because so many people come on social media and all they do is try to put on a facade, paint a picture that they are this and they are that, when in fact, them really not all of that. And I want to thank you very much for keeping it real on social media when so many other persons are not keeping it real. So, guys, before we get into the interview segment, I would like for you to go ahead and click on the share button. Guys, you have to share the live. You have to share it on your WhatsApp status, share it on your Facebook, share it everywhere. Welcome, Raquel Graham. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening. So, Miss Nodia, we're gonna hit the ground running. Because as
Yes.
you said to me, Chris don't like when you stay too long on the media. I was
And
gonna
he
talk about
and
Chris
he told me earlier,
here.
you know what he said earlier? I
Yes.
couldn't believe it. He said Tamara is gonna start the program with Miss Kitty. And I said to him, no. She better not. I said, no, you better not, because I already won.
You
And
mean
when you said it, immediately he came and walked out and look at me with his big eyes and said, see, I tell you.
no, Miss Kitty is my cousin. I always say that we're both Hiltons. So she's my cousin. And I love her. And I know that you love her too.
Oh,
But we're going to
yes.
talk about that a little later on, Miss Noria.
I
All
had no
right.
idea she was your cousin.
So who is Nodia Powell? Is Powell the maiden name or is it the married name? Who is
Powell is my daddy's name.
okay? So tell
So,
us about
right.
you
So,
and give us a little background into who you are.
I am a little girl from procreated. My mother and father have five of us. I am the black sheep. I was abandoned at 5 years old.
Wow.
I was sent to St. Elizabeth to live with a lady who was 80 years old, my paternal grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
No, yes, my paternal grandmother who. So imagine me with an 80-year-old. That would tell you that I have to be responsible for myself
Yes.
from as way back as you
Mm-hmm.
can remember. Um, I have been through it, every type of abuse. You list
Wow.
them, you name them. I can relate to every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Know what it is to go for days without food. Know what it is to have to watch the neighbor until he left. You go in his field, pick
Wow.
two, dig up two potato,
Mm-hmm.
thief it, roast it, go to bed, walk
Mm-hmm.
barefoot for how much miles and back, having
Wow.
to teeth two block, make up
Mm-hmm.
two bed with some trash and sleep,
Mm-hmm.
having to pick the green ackee and beat it and get sod from it to wash the clothes.
Wow.
Been there, done that. Here I
Wow.
am, through every hurdles I have come.
Wow, I have come.
Yes.
Through every hurdle, I have come. And that is the first teachable moment for my listeners this evening from Miss Nodia. Through every hurdle, I have come. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter what you go through in life, you can overcome those hurdles and you can accomplish and you can achieve whatever you want. So, Miss Nodia, having been through all of that, tell us, because some persons see you on social media and they think that okay, she's just a social media personality. Tell us about the other aspects of your life in terms of your education, because you have spoken about it. And sometimes some people think that because you're on social media, you are just there because you are just trying to make something or you're trying to scam people from. But I know that you are a professional and educated woman. Tell us about that side of Nodia Powell.
And another thing, TikTok don't pay me. TikTok don't pay anybody in Canada, so I'm
Wow.
not on TikTok for money. I launched my business to run my counseling career, and just as Chris and I, we set up the platform and get the bank to start charging the Holy Spirit. Say, that's not what I call you to. It is a
Wow.
pro bono.
Mm-hmm.
So I dropped out of school at 15 years old, met a terrible car accident that left me in coma for days,
Right.
severely
Wow.
injured. And
Mm-hmm.
so I went to Balaclava Secondary School and I was dropped out. So I had and primary school education was not much because
Wow.
I couldn't get to go to school much because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have the resources to go to school. So,
Right.
uh, so nobody paid me any mind at school because nobody see me as would come out to
Mm-hmm.
anything because I was a very sick child,
Right.
and so I couldn't get to go to school much.
Mm-hmm.
So drop out of grade 10, didn't have any education from then. I
Mm-hmm.
remember I get involved with my ex-husband then, and he said he would assisted me to go back to school
Wow.
because apparently he think I was smart. Into the
Mm-hmm.
relationship, the man was a liar. The man was looking a
Wow.
helper to maintain his children.
Wow.
So when it reached for me to know go back to school, he said, I'm not your father. Your father should have sent you to school, not me.
Wow.
So
Wow.
he did not assisted me in going to school.
Mm-hmm.
So I started reading with my children
Right.
from grade 1.
Wow.
So I start reading with them. So every
Mm-hmm.
evening they come home from school, we would
Mm-hmm.
read. On Sundays, we would buy the Gleaner, and the
Mm-hmm.
Gleaner would be grab something and read day.
Wow.
So we would read.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time my children reach grade 7, I was at grade 7 education too.
Wow.
And then I
Wow.
spend all my time educating my, me don't know how me done and teach my pitney them, but I teach them.
Wow.
So we
Mhm.
learn each other in the process. We teach each other in the process.
Right,
So by the
right.
time my daughter, my first daughter, was in grade 10, and
Mm-hmm.
Bridgeport High School said she's ready to do CXC, I was
Right.
ready too.
What?
So I did not
Wow.
go to any school, I
Uh-huh.
didn't go to evening classes. I get the observer paper.
Mm-hmm.
They
Oh, yes,
used to
I
have
remember that.
yeah, they used to have a section in the Observer that you could do
The
that come with
CXC
CXC.
series.
Right,
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
right. So I
Yes.
studied from the series. I studied
Mm.
from the series. And then and it all started when I joined the police force. I went to the station because by then now my
Mm-hmm.
children get big and I realized that the one income from my ex-husband wouldn't be enough. So I need to
Right.
get something done to
Mm-hmm.
assist the children.
Yes.
And so I went to the station, Burger Park station, said I
Mm-hmm.
wanted the job as a janitor
Okay.
because I would do anything to assist my
Right.
children. And by talking to the sergeant, he
Mm-hmm.
said I was smart because I love
Wow.
history and I would read my children book. And
Yes.
he said I was smart. And he said, no man, you're bright man, you can't turn police.
Wow.
And I said,
Mercy.
yeah, but so I know that I have a broken leg and want to manage the training. And so he said, no,
Mm-hmm.
man, you can apply to be district constable.
Oh,
And
nice.
so I applied. So by the time my daughter was reached CXC at grade 10, I was ready too. So my daughter and
Mercy.
I, we start
Mm-hmm.
assisting and teaching each other because
Mm-hmm.
she catch the English concept. And so she
Wow.
assisted me. And I sat
Yes.
my first two CXC by reading my books.
Woo! Wow, wow.
And I
You
get
have
my
finished telling me the
CXCs.
story, Miss Nodia, but I want to stick a pin at another teachable moment that you shared with us just now. And I want the viewers, guys, remember to share the live, tag somebody, because you have a lot of parents sending their children to school and they're clueless about what the children are learning in school. And you have shared with us the importance of reading with your children. Parents, you have to read with your children. So sometimes you may not have the subjects, you may not have the CXC, you may not have the college degree, but by the time the children finish high school, by the time they finish the CXC or the CPEA, whatever it may be, you can do the CXC too. And that is what Miss Dodia has just shared with us. That you, if your children can get it, you can get it too. And if you didn't get it before you have your children, you can get it while your children are growing up. Go ahead, Miss Dodia, and finish tell us about your educational journey.
Yes. So when I went and applied to the university with my big old ambitious self without no CXC because the results didn't come out yet. And when
Right.
I went and applied, the interview went so good. I remember the dean said, welcome to the university. We just
Mhm.
need your qualification now. And it
Wow.
was so good that I got the qualification and they said, okay, we need 5 CXC to matriculate
Mhm.
because by then I was 36 years old.
Right.
And
Wow.
she said I need 5 CXC, so
Uh-huh.
they will give me the year to get it. So I started university now with the 2 CXC, and I said to
Yes.
my daughter, I feel so empowered because the university IUC, they're so good. They start us
Mhm.
from grassroots primary, is an I and R and it and was.
Right.
So I was able to grasp it. And I said,
Mm.
something, I gotta sit the other 3 CXC because the dunce people them
Mhm.
sat CXC in January.
Yes.
So when you're bright, you sit the
Yes.
CXC in May and June with the high school picnic them.
Okay.
So you have to
Okay.
use a strategy. So when you're
Right.
done, you sit it in January. And
Mhm.
so I couldn't believe I sat the 3 CXC in January and I get 3 2s.
Woo! That's what we're talking about. That's
Yeah.
what we're talking about, people. This is Turning the Spotlight podcast, and we're talking success with Miss Nodia Powell, social media influencer. She is a family counselor. She was a police district constable. She's a mom, and she's telling us how she got through in life by working with her children and learning with her children. Miss Nodia, I am so happy to hear this story because
Me too.
I hope that there are parents listening and they will know that even if you can't read, you know the story about Ben Carson, you can't read. you can learn how to do it with your children. Thank you so much, Miss Nodia. So when you got into university, tell us, how was that journey in
Oh,
university for you?
oh my God. It was disastrous because I heard the words. I went now to do family counseling and I
Mm-hmm.
heard the word psychology for the first time in my life. I almost died. I can't pronounce the word because I
Mm-hmm.
went to university with nothing
Right.
more than just the CXC that I
Mm-hmm.
got. I remember university, you're supposed to have the CAPE and the high school and the
Right.
syllabus, the
Mm-hmm.
SBA. I went blank. Financial problem because when I
Mm-hmm.
started university, my husband walked out of the marriage. Say he don't want any
Seriously?
woman with no degree.
What you saying?
So he walked out of the marriage,
Mm-hmm.
leaving me with three small children in the
Wow.
university learning to
Wow.
pronounce psychology.
Wow.
so,
Wow. You
so
remember how you pronounced it the first time?
I couldn't even pronounce it because I've never heard it before in my life. And it was one of the hardest patch in my life. I tell people
Wow.
I better strokes doing my degree.
Wow. Look at
It
that.
was tough. It was one of the
Mm.
hardest patch in my life. But I said, you know something, in order to get out of that abusive marriage, I have to
Yes.
stick it out.
Mm. Mm.
So I hold core to it and I
Yes.
decided that I would stick it out. And I had some good friends. I had some
Yes.
good friends, Corinne
Mm-hmm.
Campbell. I had some good friends. She used to work at Calabar High School. And when
Right.
I was sick and couldn't go to school, she would
Mm.
take my notes for me. She would print
Wow.
books, go about print books, ensure
Mm-hmm.
that I have my material. And
That's
she was a tower
beautiful.
of strength.
Power of strength. Another teachable moment here, guys. You are going through difficult moments, and especially for women and even men too, because men are in abusive relationships too. There's always a way of escape, and you can't do it on your own. No man is an island, no man stands alone. She had a friend who assisted her in helping her to go through these difficult moments. Wow. So, Miss Nodia, so eventually, when you finished college, did you continue in the police force or did you go and
Yes,
do
yes.
another
I
job?
continued in the police force. And then it was so hard now because, oh my God, the police them hate me now and don't want to work with me because the district constable is the most educated one at the station and they hate
What
me.
you saying?
So I lost all my friends.
Wow.
I lost all my friends.
So are police
I
required to
lost,
be to have some form of qualification to go into the force?
yeah, but at the time, district constable, you could go in without CXC.
Right.
Right. So back then in 2002, you could go in without CXC.
Yes.
So I got in. So by the time
Wow.
now, I went to the university and they didn't know. So I hide
Mhm.
and was studying. I hide and was studying until lo and behold, they realized and I lost all my friends and it became a hot battle. And so
Mhm.
till the superintendent sent me an interdiction, I was interdicted for nothing
What?
because nobody wanted to work with me and he took side against senior police against me. The JCF is
Wow.
a tough place, but I like my police. I
Yes.
like them, but it is
Mhm,
a
mhm.
tough place.
Wow, wow. So despite the challenges, you held on to your police position and you continue in the profession, Miss Nodia. Miss Nodia, thanks for sharing your educational journey. What I want to know, who has been the most influential person in your life?
Jesus. Jesus. The only person I can really point my fingers
Mhm.
on is Jesus because everybody failed me. My
Oh, mercy.
parents failed me. My so-called friends failed me. The cousins, them who were there, everybody abandoned me. Everybody
Mhm.
failed me. My church failed me. My community. So the only real somebody I have that I could look on as my influence is Jesus Christ. Because
Jesus.
he was the only person
Mhm.
who stood by me through the
Mercy.
end until now.
Mercy. So Jesus never fails. No
No,
matter what you're going through, guys,
no.
Jesus never fails. When everybody leave you at God, He will never leave you nor forsake you. So the most influential person for Miss Nodia is Jesus. Jesus, He never fails. So, Miss Nodia, you spoke about church. did you grow up in the church? And I mean, how were you involved in church? And are you still actively involved in church?
I guess yeah. I guess that question come because the bamboo topic.
We
I
don't
guess
really
we talk about bamboo too
don't
much.
mention that word is off limit until we're ready for it.
I guess people don't link the two. But I was never sent to church in my life as a child
Wow.
growing up. I was never sent to church.
Mhm,
When I started going to Balaclava Secondary School, one of the
mhm.
friend that we would go to school with, her name was Chris. She
Okay.
used to go to the Baptist church and she
Mhm,
invited me to church. And
mhm,
I
mhm.
said to her, and she said, yeah, man, come to church, man. You can learn. We
Right.
have fellowship. And I said, but me not have any clothes to wear. I mean, not have
Mhm,
nothing to wear. And she said,
mhm.
don't worry about it. So every Sunday morning, she would take a clothes, one of her dress for me to
Right.
wear in church. And she
Mhm.
would take a pair of her shoes for me to
Wow.
wear. And then
Mhm.
she would share her breakfast.
Wow.
So when our grandmother prepare our
Mhm,
breakfast,
mhm.
she would take half of our breakfast for me to church. So
Mercy.
every Sunday morning, I would go stand there barefoot in my piece of clothes, and she would
Mhm.
take me to the back of the church and
Right.
dress me, and then I
Mm.
would go to church.
Wow.
Immediately, my gift in singing was realized. And so I started singing on the
Yes,
Baptist
sing it for
choir.
me.
Yeah, so I've been
So you
singing
have
on
a
the
comfort
Baptist
tune for me
choir.
this evening.
Huh?
Ah. What happened? So, so Miss Nodia, you never give me that for the bio. That is awesome.
Yes.
Go ahead. Yes.
A lot of blogs speak to it, and I'm always singing in my blog. So I have
Yes.
been singing on the
Mm-hmm.
Baptist choir from then, from 12 years
Okay.
old until now.
Wow. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And
Thank you for
so I
yes.
teach my children the power of ministry as children. And so my children are very powerful in the ministry, imparting to others because it is a friend who, invite me to church into who I am today, why I know Christ. Nobody in my house
Awesome.
has ever gone to church except me.
Wow. Wow, that is awesome. I'm happy to hear that, Miss Nodia. Thank you so much for sharing that. So we're gonna move now, Miss Nodia. Now that you have shared that aspect of you about your educational journey and even your Christian journey, social media, because that's what where most people know you from. I remember I came across you for the first time when you were talking about a story with your house about a woman renting your house and not paying you your rent. And I think maybe that was a story that blew you up on social media. Can you just give us a little bit of insight about that story and were you able to recover your money and get that woman out of your house?
No, it's not one. It's three of them. It's three persons that rent the house, and the three stories are the same. From the move, and every police and probation officer we know don't rent Jamaica. As they move in the house and pay the first month, they don't pay anymore.
So people can live in a house and don't pay rent?
Yes. So the first
Right.
one, she went. I said to her, the house is a well furnished house, and I'll rent you for 40,000. She said no,
Right.
she can afford 25. Then she said, oh no, the pastor who is our neighbor said, oh, she can only afford 15. I said, all right, fine. And when she moved in there, she paid the first 15. She never pay another again for the next 4 or 5 months, so she don't have it. Then 6 months after that, she called me, said she want the house to buy.
So she don't pay your rent because she has saved up money for buy your house?
Yes, while she's building one of our own in Clarendon. And
What
she
is this
couldn't
for?
afford to pay the rent. And that is my life. People abuse me all my life because I grow so poor and know what suffering is. If you
Right.
want to reach me, just say you
Mm-hmm.
don't have it, especially if you
No.
have children. And that is how they abuse me all my life.
But where do you draw the boundary though, Miss Nodia? Because
I
at
just,
some
I
point in
just,
time, you
I
have to
just
draw
know
the
that
line.
I can't do business. I have a truck. I bought $1 million, bought a truck. The
Mm-hmm.
man have my truck, scrap my truck. I don't hear from him again. I invested in so much business to help people that I don't get dollar from. So that's my
Mm-hmm.
story.
Wow. Wow.
It's-
Wow.
so where I draw the line to know I can't do business because I will
Handle
be
business.
abused in the
And you
process.
know what? If you're gonna do it, you're gonna have to do it yourself because at the end of the day, people are gonna take advantage of you. And that's the sad part about it. Because I didn't know that you could actually live in somebody's house, people, and don't pay rent.
I
Right?
never know either.
Even they know I'm gonna stop pay rent long time. But I mean, there are some really unscrupulous characters out there. And it's so sad that you would have come across such an unscrupulous or those unscrupulous individuals who come into your house and don't want to pay rent. That is just so sad. So tell us then, did that mark your journey into social media, and how were you able now to start becoming popular on social media?
You know, I don't even know what my journey. I am always on social media.
Mhm.
This is my fifth. This is my sixth TikTok account that Chris loaned me.
Wow.
This page is not my page. It's
Are
Chris'
you
page.
serious?
Yes. So this is my sixth TikTok account. I
Hmm.
lost a TikTok account last year, August, thereabout, with 40,000 followers. So I'm
What?
always on it. So this is a new one that
Right.
just developed because TikTok, I always lose it and TikTok always ban me.
Right. What?
I always lose it. And then I am maturing. I am
Mhm.
learning now to say how to appeal. And then I didn't know that when them report
Oh,
me, I should have appeal. And a
healed.
lot of things
Right.
happen. So I end up
Mhm.
lost five accounts. So it's Chris TikTok
Wow.
account is that he loaned me. Say, all right,
Right.
here, go and use it. So I'm always on social media.
Right, right. Thank God for Chris. So Miss Claudia, so being on social media, I always read your posts because I follow you very closely on social media. And one of the things I always see people saying is that for a big woman, for a big woman. I don't know why they like to say that. For a big woman, you should not be doing or saying certain things on social media. How have you had the courage, because you're always doing it, to debunk this idea that as a more mature woman, you can be on social media and just be yourself on social media?
The thing is, I am a counselor. With that, I study psychology, so I'm very interactive. My
Yeah.
entire career path is one of sus, and I love good sus. I love
Hmm.
good gossip.
Hmm.
So, what I see on social media, I don't like. So, I found social media to be very, very, very boring. And
Hmm.
so, I wouldn't go on it and I wouldn't watch it because the contents that I like, I
Right.
wouldn't be able to see it.
Mm.
And so I don't know cartoon because I never have TV. I never know TV. And
Right.
by the time I start having my children, I didn't have any time to watch cartoon. So I don't
Right.
know watch cartoon. What
Wow.
I like is adult things and adult content and being
Right.
vulgar and being up in your face. That is the thing
Hmm.
that I like. And so I
Wow.
realized that I used to post all of Queenie things because I love Queenie. And I
Right.
used to post other person's things. And
Hmm. Hmm.
YouTube give me two strike because people report me. TikTok
Wow.
ban me 2 times because I
Mhm.
report people things. Facebook um sideline me and ban me for a year, restrict me for a year because I put up something for Queenie that they say was too vulgar. So I
Wow.
realized that everything that I put up for persons, it
Hmm.
get me into trouble. So I
Right.
say, all right, let me just create something for myself. So I was just
Hmm.
walking with my phone and I just create something. And I
Hmm.
realized it get 1 million views.
Yes. Wow.
I was like, huh. Then I realized that I was going about my business in a real cloak that Chris loaned me.
Uh-huh.
And I just take a picture with it and just put it up. And I realized it gone 500,000 views.
Wow.
And Chris was going about his business on a bicycle. And I
Hmm.
just took him and put him up. And I realized it gone 600,000 views.
Wow.
And I was in the
Wow.
supermarket shopping and
Hmm.
just quarreling and
Hmm.
record something. And it got 900,000 views. And I said, well, I have what the people want.
You have your own content.
I said, I have what the people want.
Yes.
And then that's how I just started
Wow.
creating my own content. And I know that
Hmm.
I love the sexiness and I love to be in your face. And I
Right.
am a sexy woman and I like it. And I
Uh-huh.
just put it out there.
Wow. Wow.
I realized that
Wow.
it create a buzz. And if you know me,
Hmm.
if you go through the amount of abuse that I went through, you would know that I don't care. So the more them chat, is the more it give me content to create, and is the
Mhm.
more the people like it. So I just
Right?
blog.
Oh wow. And just like that, just being authentic, just being you, just being frank and just I mean, just being down to earth, as you said, Miss Nodia, you were able to create your own platform on TikTok. I see where you have almost 100,000 followers. You said you lost an account with 40,000 or more, and it was just by being you, and that is something that I truly admire about you, how authentic and just how real you are. And we can't get it any better than that. We cannot get it any better than that, right? And so we're gonna jump over now to another big question, right? I know Chris said that he don't probably want to hear about it, but we have to talk about it because this was one of the hottest thing on social media in recent time. I hear people like Shibada, one whatever, Miss Kitty, she get her knickers up in her wherever, just getting back at you for even for mentioning or even talking about her. So let me find out from you, Miss Nodia, how did this back and forth start with you and Miss Kitty?
I don't Chris just love the sauce. Chris will not even stay in the room and watch the
Yes, I
TV.
want to hear how it starts. How did it start? And where did it start? Why did it
Let me let
start?
me let me tell you, I love controversy. So
Mm-hmm.
I am just controversial.
Right.
And I if it a lot of my headlines would appear to be licking Miss Kitty, and so I get a lot of beating
Mm-hmm.
from the headlines that I would write when people don't listen to the blogs and believe in that I am against Miss Kitty.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
I started out as one of the biggest Miss Kitty supporters, and I
Wow.
use a lot of sarcasm and
Yes.
curses. Don't listen to the
Mm-hmm.
blogs and
Mm-hmm.
believe that I hate Miss Kitty.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that is so, and that is from way, way, way back. I
Right.
would always, if they attack her and say anything, I would always
Mhm.
go and put up a little headline, defend her. Nobody
Right.
listen.
Nobody listens.
No. So
Wow.
people have it to say how I hate Miss Kitty. Hell,
Mhm.
I can't find a bone of, I can't find not even one bone of hate in me for
Mhm.
anybody.
Mhm. Mhm.
But then the big upstart that happened now, the other day, which I just create a blog. I just did my morning blog. I
Mhm.
had no idea that I had no idea that Miss Kitty listen to the blog. I had no idea that she listened to the blog.
Right.
So I went on her live. I think I heard it was her first live. And I
Okay.
was on the live listening to her because I like Miss Kitty. So I
Right.
was on the live listening to it
Mhm.
and did not know that the live was about me. I had no idea that the live was about me.
Wow.
So, and I listened and I listened.
Mhm.
The following morning now,
Mhm.
and then I get a tons of backlash. People that
Wow.
lick me right, left,
Like
and
I said,
center
wow.
had no idea that it
Mhm.
was that they divide the platform in
Mhm.
me and Miss Kitty, and had
Yes.
no idea that it was persons who listen to Miss Kitty blog. I had no idea because, as I said, I was caught off guard.
Mhm.
So the following morning, I
Yes.
woke up, I listened to her and that she was angry. So
Mhm.
I woke up the following morning and I
Mhm.
created another blog again to say, why is Miss Kitty allowing social media to pull her out?
Right.
Never
Exactly.
know that the blog was about me. I had no idea. Then
Wow.
somebody wrote and said, "Oh, when you wake up, we think you did dead from what happened
Mhm.
yesterday." And I was like, "What the hell? What happened
What are you
yesterday?"
talking about?
Because I am bold enough. Nothing fear me, because I have
Ex-
been through it already, So
Right.
people
Right.
can't fear me, So
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
did not know, because as I say, if them say pin about Miss Kitty, me come out come defend her.
Right. Right.
So TikTok give me two strike because me, I don't know how they get it. Say me against the Trump, cause me a Trumpist, So I don't know how the TikTok, them have some new law now where you can't talk about president or whatever. So
Are you
I have
serious?
another TikTok, yes. So you can't
Wow.
talk about nothing about American
Mhm,
politics or you can't talk
mhm.
about that anymore. So
Wow.
I have a next account
Mhm,
that I went on one
mhm,
of my other TikTok account because me says that me now go back on a page here.
mhm,
When I
mhm.
went at it, I saw one other influencer have fresh drop. And then when I listen, I heard Miss Kitty talking about my denture and my teeth.
I will come into that because I want to know you were so brave, Miss Nadia. You just went into the bathroom and took it out.
And I was like, what the hell? How Miss? And so I think I called Chris and I said, you know that whatever, because Chris loves Susie, no, Chris loves drama, you know.
Right.
And I started following the feed, and then I realized, no, I realized that the live was about me. And I
Right.
started to play back all the clippings
Mhm.
because live is a dangerous place, you know. I
Right.
start play back all the clippings and realize that Miss Kitty went through all my thing, and she don't want the ones them that I'm speaking about her and defending her, you know. Miss Kitty not going
What?
those, you know.
She gonna look, she gonna watch your videos there?
She went on all my videos now and she
What?
build up her thing now and she come at me and say, Miss Kitty should have just make that slide, you know, man.
Oh
Miss
boy.
Kitty shouldn't even, but Miss Kitty don't
Mhm.
understand, say, because the husband came out long time already, you know, I say, me want Miss Kitty say no pay them no man because they
Right.
mad, which me know say
Mhm.
I'm me. Me tell her if you not pay them no mind, you know, when them a
Right.
chat, you know, because them bad mind are and if she know she say them mad. So me know say
Right.
I'm me and me just take it with a grain of salt and me just
Right.
laugh because it's
Mhm.
social media and it's supposed to be fun.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's for
Mhm.
me. So when she took it now to that level now, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Now I gotta defend myself. 'Cause I am not
Yes.
the little me again with anybody I got beat down and abuse anymore.
Right. Right.
So that's
Right.
how, and every day, I said, Jesus Christ, every day. And you know, say it platform dividing two now.
Mhm.
I start
Mhm.
have mine and 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 it is just so unfortunate and it is just rubbish.
Right. Right. So.
Believe me, it is
Right.
unfortunate and it
Mhm.
is just rubbish. And if I could take back the hands of time, I would
Mhm.
have take it back altogether because it's just rubbish.
It's just rubbish. But Miss Nodia, if you got the chance to speak to Miss Kitty, on a personal level, what would you say to her?
Just ride with social media. Don't take it personal. Because social media licked me, you know.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Mhm.
I told you
Mhm.
I lost 5 accounts.
Wow. Wow.
Social media hammer me.
Mhm.
So what I
Mhm.
try to do, I try not to do more than one live per month or no live because they will
Right.
cut it, they will paste it.
Mhm.
You have to look bad out there for them to get views.
Wow.
So what
Wow.
I would say,
Mhm.
don't take social and the following morning after Miss Kitty went on her rant, I
Yes.
created a blog to say, don't take social media seriously because
Yep.
people want to
Mhm.
see you broken.
Yep.
Had
Yeah.
no idea that it
Mhm.
was about me.
Wow, wow. So, Miss Noria, I saw where you did that video where you were saying that Miss Kitty, she came out and we were right through the pregnancy and all of that, and of course we can't see the baby up to now. The baby about 6 months and we can't see the baby. Like what? I mean, were you just being mischievous when you were talking about that, or were you just being real to say,
No, no,
no,
no.
it's time we see the baby now?
Miss Kitty went on our platform and said to us, we are aunties and uncles, and she gonna need us to help. Then she create her blog to say, me fi send things for the baby, and why me not send the baby gift? Why is that me want see her? Me fi send something come for her.
Right.
So I love young babies. I have 3 children. I have 2 grandchildren.
Wow,
I love
beautiful.
babies. So
Hmm.
I would give anything to see that sweet, cute, nice baby.
Oh
I love
wow.
babies. I
Yes.
need no apologies.
Hmm.
I love babies. Period.
Wow.
So And that video, I was saying it to Chris yesterday. That video went 20,000 views on
Wow.
Facebook, and I deleted it.
Wow. Wow.
I just
Wow.
take I 20,000 views it went two
Mm-hmm.
days ago, and I just deleted it.
Oh, you did?
Because
Wow.
yeah, I just take it down.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna go about and just take down all of them.
Oh,
Because
no.
social media is supposed to
Yeah.
be fun.
It should be. And I get the impression that that's what you're doing for the most part. I mean, it's just really creating that space where we can actually enjoy it. And I can tell you, when I go on your videos, I just be popping down laughing because Snowdia is something else. And you just keep it real. You just really keep it real. And there are just so many things that you share on social media that people can relate to. Right? I mean, even the morning when you get up and you say, listen, I wear denture and so what? I know one person wear denture every plenty people wear it. So at the end of the day, that is not something that we're going to use for this disrespect and disregard people and all of them things. And you just doing that, I am sure was able, you doing that, persons were able to look at themselves differently. And that was one way of helping people to build their self-esteem. That listen, even if your hair short and you have to wear a wig, because for me, it's the same thing, Them cut off the hair, them put on the nails, them put on the bottom, them cut down on the belly side and all of them things there. It's the same thing. All of us doing something to enhance our beauty and our attractiveness, right? So to tear down one person for that, it don't make no sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense.
Well, it doesn't make any sense to me either. But social media, they strive on the little petty things. Those
Yes,
are the things.
yes.
When I was a guidance counselor and went into the
Mm-hmm,
schools, I went to the schools as raw and as open that I
mm-hmm,
am.
mm-hmm.
And I changed the school. I went to Jago, I went to the top high school, and I
Yes.
changed the school because students
Wow.
didn't know some little normal things that they
Yes.
didn't know. And
It's true.
and just as how I do on my platforms, this is
Yes.
it. When I went to the United States of America, I see everybody walking without teeth. And when I asked, them say people can't afford to buy
Yeah.
denture.
It's
So them
true.
have to keep it at
It's
home and
true.
only wear it when them have go a special
Yes.
function. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, what the hell? So those are some of the things that listen, Tamara, I get more than 100 personal messages every day.
Wow, wow. And I'm sure those are messages that are saying, thank you, Miss Nodia. I am
99,
sure.
99% of them. So every day I
Mm,
do at least 20 free counseling sessions every day,
wow,
every
wow.
week.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I get more than 100 messages.
Oh,
People are broken. People are
yes,
hurting. People are dead.
yes,
People have to be living fake life because of the
yes.
image that people put out on social media. And I bring it out
Mm,
to say, this is it. It's okay to have big belly. It's okay
right.
to have denture. It's okay to didn't know a bad marriage where your ex-husband here to kill
Yes,
you and you come out. It's not your fault. So I
exactly.
keep the conversation going.
Wow, wow. Victoria, thank you. Thank you. Because I know that even listening now, there are many people in different situations, traumatic, and they're going through traumatic experiences, and they are afraid to either walk away, to talk about it, to share with somebody because they're trying to keep up the image. They're trying to
Yes.
keep up the facade. And I'm
Mhm.
happy that you are one person on social media who you have allowed yourself that despite getting backlashes, despite persons may talk bad about you sometimes, you have created a space and an avenue where persons can reach out to you because you are keeping it real and they can share with you their story and you can provide the counseling because you are a professional counselor. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate that. I mean, I too have my story. I went through an abusive relationship, and trust me, when you are in an abusive marriage, it's so hard to talk about it. It is so hard to get out of it. And if more of us will talk the truth and talk the stories to let people know that, boy, you're not always happy, but you can get out. You can survive and you can get out. Wow. Wow. Guys, you are listening to Turning the Spotlight podcast with Miss Nodia Powell. social media sensation. I would just look at how, she went through the rigors and, getting all of the backlash from Miss Kitty. But at the end of it all, she didn't even know that all of that was directed on her and the love. And that's what I love. I love that. She loves Miss Kitty. Sometimes you see people on social media, you cannot get caught up in this space. You're gonna lose out just getting caught up in this space. So, Miss Miss Nadia, people get confused sometimes about your content. They think that some of the stories that you share, you're not telling the truth. You're probably just, telling them something. Because I've seen where they say, "But didn't you say so and so and so?" And then you come back. One of the things I always hear you saying is that your children don't like you. But here I am hearing you speaking affectionately about your children and your grandchildren. Tell us about that. I mean, why do you give the impression that your children don't love you?
Well, what persons don't understand is that Chris would say, no, there's the same thing you talk about yourself every day, you know. You're just like everybody else. You talk the bottom today and the top tomorrow and the side next week.
Mhm.
It is my story. It is my platform, and I am going to bring it across the way how I
Mhm.
choose to.
Right.
What I realize with people is that people expect you to suffer the way they want you to suffer.
Wow.
And when they realize that you wasn't suffering as the way
Hmm.
they thought you were, it became a backlash. And
Wow.
so they uh, 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 and so they will angry. But oh, you did say this and oh, you did say
Hmm.
okay.
Hmm.
As Miss Kitty would have said, all right, me change my mind. No, me change my mind.
Right.
So
Right.
my children are all that I have.
Mm.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Wow.
My children don't like the contents.
Mm.
And I don't know if anybody pitney who would like it.
Right.
But
Right.
hear what? But hear
Hmm.
what? The mother that I was in growing my children was
Hmm.
a cover-up mother who their father wanted me to be and who society wanted me to be.
Wow.
That was not who I am.
Mm.
My ex-husband was a bully and a controller. And so
Hmm.
I went and cut my hair and he locked me out. I couldn't go in. And you can't wear shorts. Now you can't wear sleeveless. And you can't
Wow.
see out after hours because he
Wow.
was 15 years older than me and
Uh-huh.
thought I was his child.
Wow.
So now with Chris, I get the chance to be who I want to be. And so
Beautiful.
my children know every blog that put up, because my children don't follow me and I don't follow them.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
what they will do, a lot of my followers are my children's friend. So
Right.
they will send the content to them.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then you will get a message, Mommy, what that you put? And I said to them,
Hmm.
remember, I'm a counselor. I know this is what I do in university. And my daughter will say, Mommy, nobody not eat right banana, choke it. So, mommy, nobody not choke ripe banana. Mommy, nobody not eat cherry and I put them tongue and I pearl it. So, and I said to them, and these are some of the props that I do in uni. If you study guidance and counseling,
Right.
these are what I do in the university.
Right.
All of these things that I am doing and creating is what I did in university from
Wow.
first degree to my master's
Hmm.
program. These are
Hmm.
the things that I do. My
Wow.
children are like you and me and everybody else. Will like me
Right.
today and not like me tomorrow. But
Hmm.
if anything should happen to me now, I remember my daughter said to me, one of my daughter said to me last week, Mommy, I
Hmm.
am happy how the Olympics is going, because
Right.
I am too concerned about you when it's Olympics time
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
I don't want you to get sick. I
Wow.
am my children's world.
Mhm.
They
Wow.
love their daddy and they
Hmm.
love me.
Wow.
So I play on words. I spin
Yes.
it. I use
Yes.
it. I do
Hmm.
literature. I do
Hmm.
poetry. I do drama. I
Hmm.
play on words for it to come out
Yes.
interesting.
Yes. Yes.
If my
Wow.
children broke on me alone, them can cut. Me and my children bank. So me don't know if them like me or them like the
Hmm.
money.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Wow.
maybe them not like me, but
Hmm.
them like the fact that every call them call me,
Yeah,
remittance a come.
that's right.
So maybe them hate me, Maybe them hate me.
Yes.
But
Yes.
every call them call me, you can guarantee that
Hmm.
Western either Chris is going to send the money or me.
Right. Wow, wow. And I know that the bond between you and your kids are beautiful because I am not caught up in when you say, my children don't like me, but because I will hear the other story, and my son and my grandchildren, and I hear it, I say, Miss Nodia have the whole of them are run
Confused.
like chicken without a head because they are
Yeah.
trying to figure her out.
Right.
They can't figure out Miss Nodia
Right.
because Miss Nodia know what she do, and she
Right.
know what to get them thinking and tipping and doing all sort of stuff. So blessings to your children, Miss Nodia, and thanks for being a great mom.
Oh,
Right? I know
yes.
even if they don't like the content, I know that they love you, right? Because I know the relationship and the bond is there.
I said to them the other day, I'm just a content creator. So them say, well, Chuck,
Mhm.
we're not business. So they don't quarrel about it anymore because
Mhm.
I am an adult.
Right,
You don't pay my bills and I buy my phone. You don't tell me what to block because I don't tell you what to block.
right.
Because my daughters are very sexy. And when I see, look, I see what they put up, me say, whoa, what's that? But they are
Wow.
adults. My three children are married people. I can't
Hmm.
tell them what to do. So how
Right.
dare them want to tell me what to do? I'm Chris'
Hmm.
wife.
That's right.
And
Chris
if Chris
White.
don't have a problem with what him
Mhm.
wife put up, who they think they be? Who they think they
Wow.
are?
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
children around me.
That's right. Absolutely. Wow. Guys, this is Turning the Spotlight podcast. And our guest today is Donia Powell. And we are turning the spotlight, guys. Because some of you have put her in a bad light, but we're turning the spotlight and we're getting to know Miss Nodia a little bit more, having this candid conversation here with her. So, Miss Nodia, as a family counselor, you have been one, you said, for approximately 20 years or over 20 years. But
Yeah.
I noticed that there are two social media personalities that you said that you love them, they are your role models, and so on. Namely, Chrissy Carter and
Hmm.
Queenie Lady Gangster.
Yeah.
Now, we know about the story. Chrissy, she went through, that cheating situation with Shane, and then Queenie, we know the story. She went through that situation with her husband, abuse and all of them things. And but yet still you're saying that you admire them. I mean, what is it about them that you admire? Is that something that we would want to have or uphold as women, cheating, abuse, and all of that? Tell us, because the whole social media has been telling these women, leave these men alone. Because one is a cheater, one is an abuser, cheater, abuser, whatever it may be. I mean, what are your stance? Why is it that they're your role model?
There are different aspects to persons' lives. We are holistic.
Mm.
And as a counselor, I look
Mhm.
at the whole. I know Queenie from I was a little girl growing up.
Wow.
Queenie, family member, and I were best friends at school.
Mhm.
So I know
Mhm.
Queenie as a child growing up. I grew up in
Right.
St. Elizabeth. She grew
Mhm.
up in St. So I know her growing
Mhm.
up as a child.
Right,
What
right.
I admire about
Mhm.
Queenie don't have the degree and the education, but
Mhm.
Queenie let people know that you don't have to have education, you don't have to go to university
Right,
in
right.
order to make something of
Mhm.
yourself.
Right, absolutely.
So it is on that premise.
Mhm.
I respect Queenie for being the woman. Queenie buy two houses in a 1 year, one at
Yes.
Jamaica and one at England, and Queenie no have no
Yep.
degree.
Wow.
So, on that
Mhm.
premise, I support Queenie.
Right,
Queenie
right.
family member and I are best friends. As I said,
Mhm.
we grew together, and I wrote
Yes.
them and I said to them, when
Mhm.
I got the vision that Queenie was gonna die, I
Wow.
wrote to Queenie and I said, I
Mhm.
don't like how it look. Something the Holy Spirit say you're gonna die. Be
What?
careful. Yeah. And so I
Wow.
told her family members and I told her, and two
Mhm.
days after, she almost dead.
What?
Yeah, I have the gift of prophecy, so I see things
Mercy.
before. So persons would have known that I put out that before
Right.
and I sent
Mhm.
her a message.
Mhm.
So for as a counselor, my job as a counselor is not to tell people who to be with.
Right,
You
right.
understand? I can't tell
Mhm.
Queenie not to deal with Dewey. But
Mhm.
Dewey is not my cup of tea. And
Right.
everybody knows say,
Mhm. Mhm.
if you look at the blogs, I was one
Mhm.
of the first one of them who call out Queenie for being a disgrace to female in taking
Wow.
back Dewey.
Wow.
The blogs
Wow.
are there.
Mhm. Mhm.
I accept cheating. My
Right.
ex-husband cheated and confessed that he cheated, and I
Wow.
divorced him.
Wow.
And if
Wow.
Chris do it, I will divorce him
Mm-hmm,
just
mm-hmm.
the same. I
Right.
don't accept cheating.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You want to accept your business, but
Right,
me
right.
not accept cheating from
Mm-hmm,
nobody.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Chrissy don't have. I used to watch Chrissy 5 years back. I
Right.
stopped watch Chrissy and didn't watch Chrissy anymore because
Mm-hmm.
the record would know the blogs are there. I
Right.
don't like Seymour
Wow. Wow.
because those little
Wow.
skits that they used to come out with in
Yeah.
cheating,
Mm-hmm.
marriage should not be advertising and promoting cheating.
Right, right,
So
right.
I stopped watch Chrissy. I have
Mm-hmm.
nothing to do with Chrissy. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
I blocked them fully
Yeah.
because I
Mm-hmm.
don't like Seymour. The
Right,
blogs are there. I don't trust him.
right, right.
But I love Chrissy to be the woman that she is in real estate, buy her house, train
Wow.
her children, stand
Yes,
strong
yes.
without. I don't even think Chrissy complete high school.
Wow. Wow.
So women who
Mm.
can pick up themselves and go
Yes,
at it and get what
yes.
they need to get without people have
Mm.
to think, say, okay, if you don't have no degree and nobody,
Yes.
no, Queenie
Mm-hmm.
don't have none, and Chrissy don't have none, and Chrissy I
Right,
do very well.
right.
God gave us enough talents for us to
Yes.
survive.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
with Dewey, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how Queenie take back Dewey because God forbid that couldn't happen to me.
Wow. Wow.
Chrissy, on the other hand, now, me
Mm-hmm.
personally, why
Mm-hmm.
me not know? But me not left no man with four. In
Yeah.
spite would have to be stay with
Mhm.
your pitney them because
Right,
if
right.
Seymour was
Mm-hmm.
looking a shortcut for do
Yeah.
what I do for run left the pitney them.
Mm-hmm.
In
Mm-hmm.
spite would have be for stay with
Right.
them, me not left no man with four
Uh-huh.
pitney.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cause me
Yep.
know what it is
And
like when my husband move
yep,
out left me with three.
yep. And it's not easy. I can tell you that I have one raising on my own. And you know what? I remember my mom always saying that, listen, I stayed because I couldn't, where was I going to go with 6 children? Where was I going to go with 7, 8, 4, 5 children? Right? And so at the end of the day, it becomes imperative that you as a woman analyze your situation and
Yes,
make a decision
yes,
about what is best for you, right?
yes,
Because we don't know what is happening behind closed doors.
yes,
We don't know what is, but she has demonstrated to us in the case of Chrissy that despite having been through all of that, she held her head high. Same for Queenie too. She held her head high and she stepped out and made sure that she accomplished something bigger than what she would have accomplished, just break down and let
yeah,
society say, all right, roll over and dead.
yeah. And
Because they could have done that.
as I
They could
say,
have done that.
as a counselor, my job is not to tell you to leave your partner,
Right.
but straight up,
Mm-hmm.
for me, Dewey is a child.
Yes.
I don't play a picnic game,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
but I can't tell a woman who to
Right.
choose.
Right.
But
Right.
what is different from me with Chrissy and Seymour? Seymour did not cheat in Chrissy's face. If
Yes.
you
Yes.
follow what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
was a bitter woman who
Yes.
warned Chrissy's husband,
Yes.
came
True.
across and
True.
created a conflict. And
Mm-hmm.
Seymour big it up and say, you know what, me I go a counselor, me I go fight for my
Yes.
wife, and me I go fight for
Yes.
my family, and me
Mm-hmm.
want my family. And
Yes.
anybody who cannot appreciate and respect that
Mm-hmm.
don't have any man.
Don't have any. Wow. Wow.
It take a big man to do that.
Yes, it's true. That is
And
so
that
true.
is when I created a blog to say,
Mm-hmm.
I finally like Seymour in six
Right.
years because I don't like him. The blogs are
Mm.
there. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like him one bit. I
Mm-mm.
only like Seymour when the incident happened and he said, look here, me I go tell you everything what did happen now. This is it and this is it because me F
Wow.
up, I'm wrong and this is
Wow.
it. And I said,
Wow.
I create a blog and I send it to Chrissy and I said, this is a big man.
I respect that. I respect that. Right? And
This
some of them
is
they
a
need time
big
to
man.
grow. A lot of these men they need time to grow and to mature, right?
Yes.
And sometimes they have to go down.
Yes.
Have to humble them
Because
to bring them back up.
Because you see, pride is a dangerous thing. And the devil
Dangerous
don't
thing.
like families. I mean,
Nope.
it's a young family trying because
Yes.
Chrissy was so broken and I had to
Right.
jump in and take her side before social
Mm-hmm.
media tear
Yes.
her to
Yes.
pieces.
Yes.
Because they're going to tear her to pieces and they don't have no man. For them
Mm-hmm.
man a beat them, all
Mm-hmm.
same thing are going with them, and they're ready to hide behind Chrissy's fault
Yes.
past and throw her under the bus. No,
Yes.
I jumped to her defense.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome. That's beautiful, Miss Nodia. Because, as women, it is so important that we learn to support other women because there are a lot of women out there going through. When I tell you, Miss Nodia, and I've had my share of problems going through so much with men,
Oh, yes.
right? And at the end of the day, it they're afraid, they're ashamed to talk the truth and to
Of
speak
course.
the reality, right?
Of
Because they
course.
know that if they come out and they talk the truth, social media is going to throw them underneath the bus, or not even social media, society is going to throw them. So they prefer to continue putting on the facade, putting up the show, thinking that all right, we're good around here, when in fact them no good.
And you know what I admire about Chrissy and why I rate her? She came out, she stood with us, and she said he
Yeah.
was wrong, and she threw him under the bus. And I say,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And that for me is
Hmm.
a mature woman. She said, because she said, look, I told him that if he messed up, I'm gonna tell everybody and I
Yes.
will not shield him.
Wow.
How could you not respect a woman like that?
Who does that? Yep. Yep.
It's
Wow.
one thing with me that Tamara. I don't
Mhm.
know how to play the hypocrite, you know.
Cannot. Not true. Not true.
I call a spade because
A
when
spade.
I was going through my bad marriage and almost lost my life, I wish
Yes.
to God if I have a vent that I could explore, that
Yes.
I could talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And when
Mm-hmm.
Chrissy came out, and that is what I admire about Queenie too. Queenie
Right.
come out and she chat. She'll take it
And she
back still, you know.
ball.
She'll take it back still, you know.
Oh
She'll take
yes.
it back
And
ahead
she
with
ball.
cuss, you know. She go take him back and she go cuss we know.
Yes.
But at least it is out there. Me, I live in a pretentious bad marriage
Yes.
for 15 years that
Mm-hmm.
almost cost my life.
Life. Wow.
So who am
Wow.
I to talk about? Who am I to talk about people? I am in
Yes.
no position to do that.
No, none whatsoever. Not true.
But
None
I respect
whatsoever.
them for the
Mm-hmm.
fact that while Dewey gone about our business with Momo, Queenie bought a house.
Yep.
My
Yep.
kind of girl that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Miss Doria. Thank you for that insight into marriage and and sharing with us the importance of us as women to be strong despite what we're going through. We have to stay strong and we have to hold our heads up high. So, Miss Nodia, we're winding down now because I don't want Mr. Chris to come take it from
Every minute him come deep, you know.
you
But
know,
it's going well.
Chris, I know a lot of people asking about you. And, I like Mr. Chris because a part of me, I can't do it because I know you said, just say no there. And just, yeah, the thing in me, over, they raised me to say, miss and so on. But Miss Nadia, the bamboo, this is the time to talk about the big bamboo. I see Miss Kitty trying words on you singing this ad. Have you had your big bamboo?
I miss Kitty slogan that, you know. When Miss Kitty want to rub me, you know, when she want to rub me, you know, she come out and she say, me no know about nobody, you know, but you know have no big bamboo yet.
I didn't even remember that ad. Have you had your big bamboo,
Yeah.
guys? So, you know, sex is often tabooed in relationship and even in
Yes.
our society.
Yes.
Most people look at it as being nasty. It's not something that you're supposed to do, and we cover up, we hide and do it. Even married couples, they would make it appear as though they're not having sex, right? And because just society just thinking, and even our children, we teach them, and a lot of people teach them that you know it's nasty, I mustn't do it, and we're not open to sex education. But how important is sex in a relationship and helping to make a relationship successful?
Well, sex for me is very important. As I tell you, I never used to be on social media because I don't like the contents that we're putting out. Because for me, the most important thing in life is sex. It is
Mm,
what life comes from. It is what brought us here.
mm-hmm.
Just as how you and I talk about sex, that is how
Yes.
my children and I talk about sex from they
Mm-hmm.
were 3 years old.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
My children know everything about sex from 3 year old. I was say maybe me traumatize the poor pitney them because now
Mm-hmm.
my second daughter is 31 year old and she no want have no pitney and my son
Mm-hmm.
is 25 and he no want have no pitney. So maybe me traumatize the poor pitney them. But sex is very, 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 very important in a
Right.
relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If remember, I know sex is not forever, but the
Mm-hmm.
memory of it should be able to
Wow.
keep you.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to people that in the 13 years, no, in 1 year I met my Chris. We had
Mm-hmm.
more sex more than the 20 years that I spent with my ex-husband. Because that bamboo lash, I may work him. Yeah, man. That
What?
bamboo
What?
lash.
What?
And
So,
that bamboo lash that I met Chris, I invited him to my house. And
uh-huh.
in less than 20 minutes, me strip off my clothes and start walk before him like a go-go.
Merciful
Never
Father.
say me a Christian to you in a church.
Uh-huh.
But then me respect the boundaries and then me did step down back from the church or whatever. And
Right.
then Chris and I sex life is so much vibrant, is so much active that it keep us. So by the
Wow.
time somebody asked me the other day, say, you said a chat about bamboo, then when the bamboo can't use what you go do, me said I want to me lip.
Woo!
You go make me lip go, me lip and me tongue go in a retirement too. I said, and then we said, so the memory of it will
Yes.
keep us.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
sex is very, very, sex is the most important thing because it brings life.
It brings life. And you know, Miss Nordia, there are a lot of women in marriages and relationships. I mean, if you have that kind of relationship, and they are withholding from the men, thinking that, when you are married to a man and you don't give it to him because you think that you're punishing him, it is okay. And he's gonna sit and wait for you until you decide to give it to him. Tell them the dynamics of that for me, now, please.
Well, as a counselor, I can tell you, I always say to my clients that whilst a lot of these Christian women are in church getting into spirit, them husband they are back road by sex.
Hallelujah. Who
So
shall come
a
to
lot of Christian wives have HIV. A whole many Christian wives have HIV because
Wow.
they are so busy getting into spirit and paying pastor attention that they are
Mhm.
not doing their wifely duties.
Wow.
No woman can have sex with my husband. That can't
Mhm.
happen.
Wow.
No woman can work with my husband
Mhm.
from
Mhm.
no day. Cause if me I go to church and my husband want it, me I turn right back.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what
So
I'm talking about.
no woman can work with my
Mhm.
husband. That no
Mhm.
possible. And my husband say, no dear, boy, you're the best, you know. Yeah, man, because
Wow.
when me meet him the first 3 days, me work the man to a open back. Me work him so till the 12 we could stand up when we done. When we done the 12 we can't walk.
Oh my God. Ah.
And other
Wow.
persons will tell you, oh, and I am not imposing my values on anybody. Don't
Right.
follow me. I am
Right.
just me. Me sound like Miss Kitty
Mhm.
now. I am just me. I'm not
Mhm.
imposing on anybody. Do your
Mhm.
thing. But I
Right.
meet my husband, I carry him home, I work him, and I get a ring. Me find me
Mm.
engagement ring a while ago.
Woo.
And I get a ring. And my
Mhm.
husband want me ever since.
Wow. Wow.
My
Wow.
ex-husband, he waited 3 years before
Mhm.
we have sex. He waited for 3 years before we have sex. And that
Mhm.
is the marriage from hell.
Wow.
So
Wow.
waiting and don't make the man decent. It just means to say
Mhm.
is a damn cover up. So better you get it
Yeah.
over with from early.
Thank you. Because not for them, they are pretentious. They are
That man was
very
the devil
pretentious.
from hell, and that man
Mm-hmm.
waited. That man waited for 3 years. Chris, me say, all right, let us get on with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
Let's
tell
get
you.
let's get it on.
Yeah, so my home is happy. And I tell you, my ex-husband, 20 years, and I don't know if that man has ever seen me naked. Chris, right now when me don't talk to you, me can't just go take off my clothes, walk naked and just
Mm-hmm.
go bed. And me and Chris in the house are with comfortable.
Free.
Me belly no feel big. Me teeth
Mm-hmm.
no feel like it have on glue. Me no
Wow.
feel scaly. When it come to
Mhm.
Chris let me feel like a natural woman.
Oh, wow. Wow. I love this. I love this.
Chris
Wow.
let me feel like the woman who I dreamt of, the woman that I
Mm.
wanted to be.
Wow. Wow.
Never feel dirty, never feel
Mm-hmm.
judged, never feel unclean,
Mm-hmm.
never.
Wow. This is
And
this is
so I
this is
love my
beautiful.
husband and I pleasure
Mm-hmm.
my husband. I ride in bamboo and I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy doing it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. The
And it
bamboo.
is
Yes,
godly. It is godly.
it is. It is.
So over
Marriage is
here,
holy and the bed is undefiled. That's what the
over
Bible
here,
says.
we promote marriage and
Yes.
bedroom, which is God's way. So persons are say, "Oh, you're Christian." I say, "How am I Christian? Then I got create
So
Adam
what
and
you
Eve
must
and
talk
have them and
about?
eat through each other."
Woo!
How me a Christian? Then when me I do me walk and sleep with somebody?
Mm-mm.
Jesus not going in anybody bedroom, and neither do I. So how you
Right,
eating mine?
right, right.
So my husband and I we are enjoy we play so we are pay for. We not
Yes.
live here free.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You understand? So what the big thing? So
And
for per
that's how it's supposed to be, Miss
yeah.
Nodia. You
Yeah,
are
so
supposed to be
so
able to enjoy your relationship
yes.
within the bounds of marriage. If people and look up at me and all of them are enjoy it, why you as a big woman can't enjoy it?
You understand? So when some people are saying to me, fear big woman you do it. So me I say, oh, a picnic supposed to do it.
Yeah.
How you do that for a big woman?
They would want to hear the children saying that they're doing it.
Then
Mm-hmm.
hold on there. Then I know big woman supposed to do it. A picnic supposed to do it. But me not
Wow.
understand because
Wow.
relationship supposed to be big people thing. So how
Yes.
me at 55 years old not supposed to do it? So
Mm.
me should not talk about it when me a teenager. Me should not talk about it when me I pretend
Mm-hmm.
to be decent mother grow me picking them.
Right.
And now me a adult I'm enough to talk about it.
I mustn't talk about it. Imagine that. Imagine that, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just joining us, we are talking to Miss Nodia Powell on turning the spotlight. If you are late, Roseanne, welcome, 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 guys. And we are pretty much winding down now because we are looking. And thanks, Miss Nodia, because you are speaking from the perspective of a counselor, and you're being open, you're being frank, you're being bold in your presentation this evening and helping people to understand that God, this is something. Did you all know that marriage was created before even the Sabbath day?
Oh
Did you
yes.
know that Adam knew his wife? And when the Bible
Mhm.
says Adam knew his wife, it means that they had sexual intercourse before the Sabbath day came. And so at the end of the day, guys, this is something, and I hear some people saying, oh, there will be no marriage, there will be no none of this when we get in the new heaven and new earth. I tell them nothing like that. Because if the Sabbath is gonna be there, then it's gonna be there. It's gonna be there. There'll be no marriage in heaven, but I'm sure in the new earth, God is gonna create it for us to enjoy life within, because He made that before sin came into the world. It wasn't after sin that it came. It came about even before the Sabbath day, which is and marriage is the oldest institution on earth, and it's beautiful. Thank you so much, Miss Nodia, for sharing all of that lovely story with us. So, Miss Nodia, this is going to be my final question to you because we're going to wind down right now. What does the future look like for Nodia Powell?
I don't look in the future. I just look one day at a time. Because for me, there's no tomorrow. And I tell my children, my big daughter, she always have this, the three of them are in the youth, and she always have this great big plan of tomorrow. Hell no. It is no. Life is right now. How you get this great big tomorrow to be talking
Wow.
about?
Mm,
How you get this great big plan to be talking about? How? I don't know.
one day at a
I
time.
have no plan about tomorrow more than ask God every day to keep Chris and I safe, that we can
Wow.
deep throat bamboo, we can ride bamboo, we can have good health, we can eat and we can work to take care of
Wow.
ourselves. And if
Wow.
we should die, we will
Mm-hmm.
our soul will find peace with God.
Wow.
I I don't have this great. I don't know what tomorrow. I don't even know if I'll
Mhm.
be here tomorrow.
Right?
But am I wasting my resources that God gave us? No.
No.
Am I abusing our body? No. Are
No.
we all doing alcohol or smoking and no. Are we
Mhm.
trying to? No. So
Mhm.
we still, if there should be a tomorrow, then we should be able to benefit from it. But the
Right,
great
right,
big plan and the great big this and that. Mm-mm. And what the future hold, I don't know. I'm just
right.
living one day at a
Yes,
time
at
and
time.
asking God for health
Mhm.
and strength. And as I have the gift of prophecy, so things
Mhm.
that will happen 5, 10 years, the Lord will show
Right.
me. And I will say to Chris that, we're gonna live here, or
Mhm.
we're gonna move here. Or so I look without vision, the people perish.
Without vision, absolutely.
And I am happy to
Wow.
God. I was telling him this
Mhm.
morning a vision that I got, and I was saying to him this morning that, Chris, I'm so happy that I am a prophet and I get the vision. And then I
Yes.
told him what I saw. So
Mhm.
so once I get it, we know what to do and what to tell me and
Yes,
what to say.
yes.
But outside of that, God is in control.
God is in
I don't want
control.
to jump ahead of God. If God
Mhm.
show me the entire thing, it will be too much.
Yes, yes. Wow.
In all my ways, I'm to acknowledge Him and let Him direct.
Right, right.
So that's how I
Wow.
live. I don't have this great big story for tomorrow. No.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, Miss Nodia, for sharing that. The future is not something that we're going to just look for this big future, but what we're doing is living one day at a time. We're planning and we're making sure that we put things in place. We're not wasting our resources, but definitely we're living each day as though it's our last. We are making the moments count. We're creating memories. We're enjoying life. That is
Yes.
what Miss Nodia is telling us. You gotta enjoy life. And so, Miss Noda, we're gonna go now into our top 10 trivia questions. And we want you to just answer these questions as we share them with you. They're gonna be on the screen, so you can just go ahead and answer them. So the first top trivia is, what was your favorite game or sport as a child growing up? You say you didn't have no TV and all of them things, no cartoon. But what was your
But
favorite game or sport as a child growing up?
always play jacks and dandy shandy, but me not play much dandy shandy because people always beat me and abuse me and tear me up and lick me down coming on nobody. So me always stay
What
by myself.
What is Dandy Shanty again? I don't remember what that is. Is that a sighting game?
Yes.
Oh,
And Queenie cousin who was my best friend, they used to have this one drop skipping rope that they introduced to us, Queenie them as a child. So we
right.
used to do this one drop skipping rope. So
Wow,
yeah.
wow. All right. What was your favorite subject? So when you started studying and reading and
I
all of that,
love,
what?
I love, I love psychology. I love English. I love psychology. I love literature. I love drama.
Mhm.
I am a
Awesome.
drama queen, and you can
Oh
see
Lord.
that.
Oh wow, wow, wow. All right. Did you have any bad experience with any teacher in school, whether your lecturers or so on, or any good experience that you'd want to share with us?
Well, teachers never used to pay me any mind because me always not smell good and my skin up my uniform always tear up. And in St. Elizabeth, Roses Valley, I grew up in a laborite home. The principal was PMP. So in where I come from in Roses Valley, every PMP and every JLP. So me
Wow.
not get no attention because I come from laborite home and the principal was PMP. So nobody not pay me no mind. Going to secondary school, there was a teacher there who make sexual advances, would provoke you for sex as a child going
Mhm.
to secondary school. So university, you come, you experience the same thing again with whatever. So
Wow.
my life is just one of just just problem.
So like trouble follow you, eh?
Yes. Because when persons know that you don't have family, you are the
Yes,
prey.
that's
And that
true.
is why the Lord revealed to me yesterday. That is why fowl protect their chickens and every other animal protect their babies, except
Yes.
my parents who didn't protect me.
Oh my. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So as you have mentioned politics, if you could be any prime minister of Jamaica, who would it be and why?
Me a Gemini, so I love Edward Siaga,
You know, this is my second podcast. This is episode 2. My first guest, Chris, said that he loved Edward Siaga, and here Miss Nodia is sharing with me again.
That's
Why Edward Siaga though?
I'm a Gemini, and he just tell you as it is. And Mr. Siaga spent all his money in politics. Mr. Siaga dead broke. Mr. Siaga
Wow.
did not benefit from politics. Politics
Hmm.
benefited from him. He gave all his money to people, and that is who I am.
Wow.
I could have
Wow.
money, I could have things. I gave away all my money to
Hmm.
people. So
Wow.
Mr. Siaga is like that. What you see is it you get. You hear him say a done and a done of five, a done of one. Mr.
Wow.
Siaga walks alone and him just tell you
Lord,
and him not afraid.
that's right. Wow. So, which song do you dance to the most while you're working in the house? Or when you're cleaning and even when you're doing
Me love
all your
Buju, you
nice
know.
things?
Me love
What's your
Buju
song?
Banton, man.
Okay,
Me
okay.
love Buju. Sometimes we rock like a beanie man too. But me love
Uh-huh.
Buju. Me a Buju girl.
What's that tune up?
None can have
I
to
love
get your
the
body, girl.
vibe.
Have to get it. That song, have to get your body, girl. Have to get it now. Is when I
Wow.
was doing guidance counseling in the community, I realized that that song created a lot of girls get raped in the community from that song.
Wow.
So it kind of shifts me away from a
Yeah.
little bit. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to go into that, but I kind
Wow.
of that song.
Wow. Wow. All right. What is your favorite dish?
Oh, I love ackee and saltfish, but it don't like me.
Ah!
I love ackee and saltfish,
Wow.
but because I have high cholesterol problem, it don't
Mm-hmm.
like me. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. So if I were making dinner for you, what would be the other dish that you would want to have?
I love stew chicken.
Okay. Nice. Nice. All right. Next question. If you had to give up one social media platform, what would it be?
TikTok.
TikTok. Why TikTok though?
Because TikTok too loose. Too many persons are on it that are fake and faceless.
Mm.
I love
Wow.
Facebook. You can see people on Facebook. TikTok have too much fake persons who abuse bloggers too much.
Right.
And TikTok
Wow.
don't pay Canadian, so
Definitely would give that up. All right.
yeah.
And my final question to you, Miss Nodia, if you were to be, and I think I have, this is not my final question. So this is my, maybe I have another one. If you were to be an animal, which animal would you be and why?
A cat. I love the cat, and that was what drawn me to Miss Kitty
Oh.
earlier. As a child growing up, I was given my first pet was a cat. And
Mm.
so I used that cat, and the cat would have a lot of kitten, and I would sell the kitten, and the kitten them come back. And
Wow.
everywhere you sell the kitten them come back.
Hmm.
So my entire life, I grew having a cat. I
You
am
have
so
one
much
now?
into cats that my email address, part of it is cat. I have two
Okay.
email. My
Right.
main email address is cat. And the
Wow.
only reason we don't have a cat here is because they stop cutting their paws and we don't want them to damage the nail, and Chris don't so into that. But cat,
Right.
I have cat all my life. I love
Wow.
the cats.
Wow. Cats are beautiful.
I
They're
love the
actually, they
cat.
have the mind of a 3-year-old. Did you know that? They're
No.
very intelligent. Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
as I told you, I sell them far.
yeah.
It doesn't matter. And when you
Yeah.
wake up in the morning, the cat find
Yeah.
their way back home.
Hmm. They have the mind of a 3-year-old toddler. They could, and so that's very mature and all of that. All
So I
right.
love the cat.
So my final question to you: pick a number, 1 to 100.
22.
22. So Miss know that you have $22 million, whether it's Canadian or US, right? What would you do? What are three things that you would do with that $22 million?
22, I would go to Jamaica and I would buy a nice property and turn it into a senior care so I
Mm,
could take care of the seniors. And I
wow.
would also use a part of it for abused girls.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I would
Wow.
use abused
Um,
girls,
so that's
yes, and
two
I
senior
would
care, right?
and
Abuse
I would
girl.
yeah, and I would have an evening program that just caters to vulnerable people illiteracy program.
Wow. I love that. I love that. So you would do a senior care home, you would take
Mhm,
care of abused girls, and you would have something where persons who are literate, they could come and learn in that institution.
mhm.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, listeners, viewers from all over the world, You sat with us almost 1.5 hours as we talked candidly. Mrs. Nodia shared with us her journey, her story. She highlighted the importance of not allowing hurdles to hold us back and to keep us back. And she shared with us that it doesn't matter the challenges that you may face in life, you can still achieve all that you want. Miss Nodia, thank you so much for sharing with us. And just quickly before you go, what are your final words for our viewers this evening?
Be strong, be courageous. Don't be bullied on social media. Social media is for all of us. It is you who buy your phone. It is you who you're paying your bills. Many persons are writing to me to say how they can be a blogger. You have to have thick skin because they're gonna abuse you left, right, and center.
Mm,
Just speak. Whatever come to your mouth, take out your phone, create something and just post it. Be yourself. Defend what you post. Change it if you want to change it. If you want to change your, if you want to talk about your head, then you talk about your bottom tomorrow. Whatever you want to do, it is your page. Be yourself and don't be bullied on social media. Social media is here to stay. It is for all of us. Don't take it too personal and
mm.
have fun.
Wow, thank you so much, Miss Dodia. I would definitely had fun talking this evening. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I truly appreciate you coming here this evening. I want to say a big up to you and your family. Big up to Mr. Chris, right? And ladies and gentlemen, I am sure that you would have learned so much from Miss Nodia. This has been Turning the Spotlight. Remember that you can join us every Sunday evening at 4 p.m. Guys, make sure you put it in your clock or your calendar because next week we're going to come again. You thought this evening was hot, it's going to get hotter next week. Have a good evening. God bless you all.
Thank you so much.